Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic Hypersonic.
I'm Barry P. Cook, and I'm here to talk to you about the latest episode of Star Wars Ahsoka. It was called Fallen Jedi. And as it starts, our heroes are still hiding in the forest, and Sabine tries to raise Hera on comms, but to no avail. Ahsoka then tells Sabine that they may have to destroy the hyperspace gate or the map to keep Thrawn from coming back, which would likely mean stranding Ezra wherever he is. Balin's minions locate the ship, and he orders them to move in on our heroes, which they start doing by attacking Hyuga, who is outside making repairs, and soon Ahsoka and Sabine come to his aid and take out the enemy attackers. Elsewhere, Hera sets out with Chopper and Jason, as well as a squadron of X-Wings, seemingly to check on Ahsoka and Sabine in their mission. We then see that Morgan has opened up the map again, and that she and Balin are getting ready to jump to Thrawn's location, as Sabine and Ahsoka encounter Tate and Marak in the woods while on their way to stop Balin. Sabine takes on Tate, and Ahsoka seemingly kills Marak before leaving Tate and Sabine to finish their duel at Sabine's request so that she can get the map away from Balin. She reaches his location and confronts him, and they talk a bit before igniting their blades. And he explains that he wants to bring Thrawn back because he knows he'll start a war, which will destroy everything and create an opportunity to rebuild the galaxy better. After he taunts Ahsoka by telling her that her legacy, like her master's, is one of death and destruction, she manages to get him down and remove the map from the mechanism that was calculating the coordinates that Balin needs to jump to, stopping it from doing so. But she has to drop it because it's very hot, and when Sabine's fight with Tate ends, with Tate running off, Sabine shows up to try to help Ahsoka, but Ahsoka ends up getting sent over a cliff, and then Balin convinces Sabine to give him the map back after she'd picked it up where Ahsoka dropped it. And he then proceeds to destroy it after getting the coordinates from it that he needed. Hera and her squadron show up as Balin goes to hyperspace, and the shockwave hits the squadron, wiping out all but two of the ships that were escorting Hera's ship. Hyung finishes fixing the engines, but can't reach Ahsoka or Sabine on comms. As the episode ends, we see that somehow Ahsoka has landed in the world between worlds, seen in Rebels, instead of in the rocky ocean below the cliff that she was sent over. And we see that she's greeted by a badly de-aged Anakin Skywalker, which is where the episode ended. So I have liked this show since the first episode. I liked last week's episode better than the first two, and this one has been the best episode so far. The wooded area and the cliffy area on the planet where Balin and Morgan are trying to get the coordinates from the map is crazy, gorgeous, although gloomy because it's supposed to be kind of foreboding, but it just pulls it off. They pulled it off fantastically. It's very atmospheric and very sort of dread inducing, which I think it's supposed to be because the stakes are high and the bad guys have the map, and things are not looking good. And I felt that the environment reflected that, and it makes you feel uneasy. And I thought it was really cool. This was especially true during the fight in the woods between Sabine and Tate and Ahsoka and Marak. And I just, and then in the cliff area, when Ahsoka and Balin are fighting, it just, the atmosphere is just insanely cool. But beyond the aesthetics of the episode, it was really great, in terms of the dialogue and the fight choreography. And it really is a terrible shame that Ray Stevenson passed away because he is excellent in this as Balin. And in this episode, he just knocked it out of the park, both with his physicality and the way he delivers his lines. He really was the best thing about this episode, and I'm going to be so sad to see this character go, which is going to happen sometime by the end of the season unless they plan to have him die off camera for season 2, which I'm presuming they're going to have. Because, there are only 4 episodes left now, and I can't see this story that they're trying to tell winding, wrapping up in 4 episodes. So there's going to be a season 2, and we're either going to lose this character or it's going to be recast, which I think would be a very bad decision. And So, I'm going to be sad to see this version of the character go because, like I said, Ray Stevenson knocked it out of the park, and it's just an excellent character. The only other things I would say about the episode would be that it was too short. Once again, just about 40 minutes, which, I don't understand why they're doing that. I guess if they've only mapped out so many hours worth of story so far, they couldn't have made the episodes longer because there would have been 3 episodes or 5 episodes instead of 8, I guess. And I guess they wanted it to go 8. But it especially annoyed me this week because at the end we get Anakin for like a split second. And now we got to wait a week. And if the episodes were longer, then we would have gotten the next couple of scenes with him and we would have seen, what he has to say for himself. Because this is the first time she's seeing him since last seeing him as Vader. So yeah, I'm bummed about that. I didn't like how he looked though. I didn't think the de-aging worked well. Last time they didn't de-age him and he looked terrible because he was obviously way older. And now this time they've gone in the other direction and he doesn't look good. So I don't know. They can't win for losing, apparently. And they killed Marak, it seems, or Marak, whatever his name is, which is funny because people have been speculating for like a month now, or 3 weeks anyway, as to who's under the mask. Who is it? Various theories. Is it Ezra? Is it Kanan somehow? Is it Star Killer from the Force Unleashed? Who is it? Well, it was none of those. And they're dead, seemingly. So, so much for that. But the way they died was interesting. They kind of Force Ghost died, but not by like disappearing in a flash, kind of like fading away, Avengers Endgame blip style, which was weird. So yeah, so much for that. Kind of anticlimactic, actually. But yeah, I would have to say to anybody that hasn't liked this show so far, if you don't like it after this episode, there's something wrong with you. Because this episode was fantastic. The action scenes were fantastic. The dialogue and the fight between Balin and Ahsoka was just amazing. Ray Stevenson was amazing. It just was a fantastic episode, and I can't wait for next week. But that's it. I'm gonna get out of here. I'll be back to do a recap and review of next week's episode once it's released. Until then, may the Force be with you.